Today's video is going to be drastically different. Normally you would see me carefully removing engine parts, kind of carefully removing engine parts so that I can resell these parts, but this is a full service auto recycling business, which means that I'm not only tearing engines down for parts and dismantling cars. When I'm done dismantling cars, they get crushed. And that's what we're gonna do today. We're gonna crush this 106,000 mile 1994, I think it's a 94, Honda Civic EX D16 Z6 car, ABS car, rear disc brakes, all the goodies. I mean, it is a four-door. But today we're gonna make this as flat as possible. Now, preface this, I would never spend this much time crushing a car. Normally, I crush the roofs down to about here so that I can fit more cars on a truck, since I'm charged per truck, at least for freight, to get these bodies out of here. In this case, this is more of a challenge. How flat can this car get? So this is the Civic in question. It looks really nice until you actually look at it. It is wrecked. We've stripped all the good parts off of it. Now, I understand what some of you are going to say. It's still got glass in it. There's still plenty of parts I can see. Yes, there are still parts on this car that I would consider good, but I can't save everything. I have finite space, I have finite labor, so all I do is concentrate on the parts I know that will sell, the rare stuff, the high demand stuff, and then I save what I think I will eventually sell, and everything that's left on this is either damaged or worth so little that the labor would easily negate any kind of monetary gain by selling it. So yes, there are a few parts in here, but we saved all the good stuff. There's nothing you'd find on this car that would be gone at a self-service yard. Now, I buy these cars as often as I can, which is not often enough, especially low mileage D16 cars, early OBD1 cars like this. They do really well for me. This one's pretty rusty, obviously not worth fixing. Obviously we've dismantled it already. I don't think this will open. This might open. No, it's on the safety. It did open. So normally we throw a bunch of stuff that comes off of cars. We're allowed to put 5 tires per vehicle inside when we crush them. Of course, all the fluids get drained, the Freon gets evacuated, all the normal stuff to keep the bad stuff out of the environment. And now it's time to smush this car. For this video, I have mounted my GoPro safely on the rear deck. Safely. Just for the initial roof flattening, that's it. I'm not going to crush my own GoPro. I hope I don't. I only have one. Don't want to buy any more. Oh yeah. No door lock actuators in this one. Perfect. And the tool for the job is this 621C case front wheel loader. This thing, I love this thing, is powered by everyone's favorite, a 12 valve Cummins. So you know it'll always run, and I can get parts anywhere for it. Looks like from my vantage point. Oh, I dented it. And here is car after the first crush. My GoPro, perfectly fine. All I did was screw it into this rear deck. It's got all the weight on it. Now we're going to continue making it flat. So normally this is the extent of how crushed these cars get. As you can see, there's some that I've already crushed. Roof's flat, not much more. Sometimes I'll crush the trunks. But in this case, that's not as much fun. Like that's too short. So it's time to make this thing super flat. And normally what happens is the stuff that we put inside, wheels and tires, ends up keeping it from getting all the way flat. If I can retrieve this, it's time to make it flatter. Like so. Let's find out if the trunk still opens and closes. See if we can do this without getting cut up. The release is over here somewhere. Let's pull it. Here we go. It doesn't want to do anything anymore. It's gonna be a no. Trunk does not open. wanted to do this. We haven't really crushed the front yet. We will. The rest of this is it's pretty flat. Again, I don't have a car crusher. I'm not fancy like some of the other people on here. So now we need to crush the strongest part of the car, the firewall. Don't worry, we'll get it. I promise you that the best thing about modern cars is that 20 some odd thousand pound machine cannot do this to those. This car crushes way further down. I could probably work this corner of the firewall more. There's a point of diminishing return because then you just start making a mess everywhere. I've already made a pretty good mess here. So now we're gonna see what it takes to fix it. So I'm gonna level with you here. I still prefer older cars. They're simpler, they're cheaper to own, they're cheaper to insure, they're cheaper to repair, the parts are cheaper, they're cheaper to exist in your life. Modern cars are heavy, they're complicated, they're loaded full of tech, that if one thing doesn't work, the entire car shuts off. Modern cars do have their benefits though, because a modern Honda Civic or anything else would never crush like this with a machine like this. Yes, this is 20-something thousand pounds. It's really heavy, but there are cars that are 5 and 6 years old that I've tried to crush with this thing, and I can't even bend the A-pillar. I can ram them into the concrete here, and I can barely put a dent in the B-pillar. Some of these new cars are extremely safe to be in. I'm not talking about all the accident avoidance stuff and lane assist and all those things. I'm talking about the actual structure of the car. You never see a modern car crushed like this with a machine like this. Speaking of crushing this was way more fun than I expected. I should do this more often. Let me know if you guys want to see this more often. I can crush, I crush every car that leaves here, unless I know I can't. And I'm also sure that I can get this flatter if it didn't have suspension on it. So maybe I should have had my guys pull the suspension. But then, is it really a fair game? I don't really know. This was fun. I really hope you enjoyed this video. If you'd like to buy any of the good parts I saved out of this thing, you can find them on importapart.com. You can peruse our inventory. I upload our parts cards just about every single week. As always, I love all the comments, all the feedback, and even the criticism. I love it all, and I'll catch you on the next one. I played with Hot Wheels a lot when I was a kid. Nobody can tell, right? So if you have an extra like $22,000 laying around, you can buy one of these yourself. They're cheaper than a new Corolla. Well, that might be, with taxes, it's probably cheaper than a new Corolla. And look how much fun it is. I wouldn't drive it to work though. All right, one last thing. We're gonna see if we can ball this thing up. result. I think I could get it smaller. I could, crush this rail and push this over. I think marginally smaller. I don't think you could fit much else inside this car at this point. I think I've taken up all of the useful space. It's really hard to tell what was what. You know what? I think I left my impact in there.